Alright gang, welcome back to a new exciting episode of Dwight and Sharon's new home in Madeira. Well, we got most of the walls framed up. They probably have a few more things to do inside. It's been a few, it was yesterday when we were out here. But the crane's here now and they're hanging the trusses, okay? And again, remember we talked about them being basically puzzle pieces. They've already got some of the things separated, some of the trusses separated depending on how they go up. And of course they know all of that stuff and how they go. So we're gonna stand out here and let you guys watch a crane lift one of these trusses up, and then we'll walk around and watch them put the truss in place. And they still have that one attached. That's the first truss going up back there. So we're gonna have an ongoing video till we get the house completed here in the framing stage. So stand by. Here's a really good shot of an actual truss. And you can see, like we talked about yesterday, they're basically in triangle shapes, all the different cords of wood. The two strongest shapes in nature are triangles and circles. Okay, so truss packages, again, roofs are shaped like that, but that really gives you that really strong, using triangles like that inside the truss package gives you a super strong structure. Okay, so he's up top, he's waiting for that crane to get done. He's going to bring it over, and we're going to snatch it. We're going to snatch up the second truss. Okay, so I'll get you back to you. All right, see the hooks on there. It's a pretty simple operation. All they do is take those hooks. That gentleman's operating the crane. They just take those hooks around one end and the other, and he just lifts it up. It's a pretty simple operation when you really think about it, but it's very dangerous. If they don't do this the right way, that truss comes down on them, and it affects, possibly, if they don't hook it up right here, it affects the gentleman on the back who are setting that truss on that roof. And remember yesterday, remember I said they're kind of wobbly and weak when they're by themselves? Look at that truss going up. See, that kind of looks pretty flimsy, doesn't it, as it turns and tweaks and whatnot, and here it comes our way. We gotta stay out of his way, right? But when you put all those together, they become very, very strong, because they tie them all together. Okay? So we're gonna go around back and let you watch them set this truss. Flat roof, right? But you see the top of that truss is flat. Well, there's another truss that's going to go on top of that and make them in pieces sometimes. Okay? There we go. As you can see, they're just taking them in order, and they're going to set them in order. There you go. And those guys are up there. Remember all that little wood that they were cutting yesterday? Those little pieces right where his arms are right there. You see those pieces of here, and they can use those to space them out appropriately. And help strengthen them and all that, tying them all together and stuff. And he's going to take the hooks off. Once they get it all set, he'll take the hooks off. But right now, the crane operator's keeping it steady and keeping it upright. Okay, so these guys don't have to hold it. The crane's basically holding it. Okay, so they're going to start from the back and just build our roof. Okay. So they got one hook off already. They're going to release the other hook. They've got it in secured enough for themselves so they can just continue to work on it while the crane operator goes back to the front and grabs another truss, and they'll just keep going back. But you see, if you look at those trusses, see how they're different sizes, see how tall that second one is compared to the first one? See, it sets up a little higher because, again, we're gonna have an angle on the roof, right? So all that's, calculated in. And that's how they come off that stack in that order too. So that's how they do it at the truss plant when they manufacture the trusses, okay? It's all an engineered program, if you will, okay? All right, here comes the third truss coming up over the top. He's got it hooked up on the front side of the house. I just saw it. And you're gonna see this next one. Now you'll see this side of the operation, if you will. As he brings that up, you got the gentleman in the house with those spacer pieces. He's gonna toss them up, there he goes, to those guys so they can be ready when that truss gets here, okay? So the crane operator just sets it right on top of the house. And this one should be taller than the other one because that roof is still gonna, go up to a certain point, right? There it is. So this is called setting the trusses. And you can see, if you look real carefully, see how that truss kind of wiggles a little bit and bends, and you go, wow, that's like, what kind of house are they building, right? But no, that's what they are. They're by themselves, they're really weak. Because remember, those gusset plates only have 1/4 inch nails going in, and those are long spans of wood, right? But when they nail all these things together, that becomes a package, a truss package, super strong, super, super strong. So there we go, we're just gonna continue on and build this roof. All right, remember I said that they'll take some of the pieces of truss the trusses, and they'll actually assemble them on the ground, or they'll have pieces that aren't involving the crane, like these pieces here. So you see the little triangles here. Well, those triangles are really essentially going to go, get the sun out of my eyes, kind of right in this area to go from the pitch down here. So that's the tail end of that package, if you will. Okay, so those will be taken up by hand. All right. What else can I tell? Oh yes, another thing you can start seeing as they're hanging these trusses. You notice those trusses right there, kind of knocked out. Right there, you see them go up. The same on that side. Well, that is for the tray ceiling. Actually, we're doing a 4-box coffer, but it's the same for a tray ceiling. So if you look at a house, you go, how'd they get that tray ceiling in there? You know, they have to frame it in right behind the sheetrock. Well, it starts with the truss package. They knock that out, then they'll go back in and reframe that whole thing square, or a 4-box or 9-box, or just a simple tray. They'll go back in and frame all of that. They'll trim it out essentially with the framing. So that's kind of what's happening. All right, here's another perspective. So we're looking in the center window in the master suite from the outside, of course, and you see the other truss coming overhead. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you them setting it from basically underneath. Okay, we don't want to go underneath it in case something bad happens, but this will kind of give you guys a perspective of what they're doing. You got the gentleman on the side over here. He's going to be helping set it. You got this gentleman up here, and there's also one on the far side over there. And they get it, and they set it. They put those scab pieces, those braces in between. They're all cut to the same size. See what he's doing up there? I don't know if you guys can see that. He's putting that brace piece in between. He knows exactly. He gets it set, and then they can nails it to the existing truss that's already set, and then they bring it over to it. Then they bring over that one over, and then he sets his on his marks up there. Okay, because those are just setting on top of those top plates. So he just sets that and nails it in place. Okay, so it's all a team. It's just like anything else. It's a big team effort to make sure it's straight and square and whatnot. Okay. All right, as we make our way around the house, you know, some of my other videos, you guys have seen my explanation of a zip board, you know, the zip system that a lot of the builders are using now. So this is a great time to really look at the board on the edge, and this is a big deal. This is what zip board is all about. This is strand board, essentially. Okay, as you can see on the inside there, if you guys look, it's just strands of wood pieces, wood chips, giant one, but wood chips nonetheless, with a lot of grain in them. You see all the grain that's in them? All right. What they do at the factory when they produce the zip board here is this board actually starts out about 7 to 8 inches thick. All right, and there's all this wood chips, or wood pieces, if you will, not chips, but pieces. And they choose them for their grains too. The grains have to be going a certain way. They mix it all with a glue, and then what this product does, it goes through calendar rollers, and it gets squeezed and squeezed and squeezed, and the glue's continually injected into it until you get to the 7/16 thickness that you see here. So all through here is glue. Okay, so this stuff is super strong. That's why they can call it a structural component. You see that word structural on there. It is now structural to the house, strengthening it, moisture, wind resistance, things of that nature. Okay, the green on the outside really isn't anything. It's just a place for them to put their logo, and it's like their trademark, the green. So that doesn't give it any extra coating. Really, what the process is that glue and the wood pieces mixed in together. That's the zip system there, zip board. They also have roof decking they manufacture. They have flooring systems. Advantech is actually the name of the company, Advantech, and it is they make flooring systems, things like that. Okay, as you can see, it says Advantech. Where's it at? There it says Advantech on it, flooring systems. So they use that. Now, so you say, well, how do they seal up these joints? Like you've seen on some of my other videos, they use rubberized tape over all these joints. All the joints, all the flashing around the windows gets taped so you don't get moisture down in here. Okay, and what's really cool about this is you see all these nails. Okay, and you say, well, there's a hole here now. How do they protect that? Well, because of the glue that's in this product, unless you breach this all the way through, it's secure. You could take that nail halfway through this thickness, the 7/16, all right? As long as that nail head didn't go all the way through, you don't have to worry about it. Plus, there's going to be hardy lap siding over the top of this, which is a cementatious board. But this, when using this product, the zip board, you don't have to wrap the house. I know we've all seen like Tyvek wrap and things like that. It's just moisture barrier. So this does all of that in one. It helps save them money, time, but it's a great product. So it's not like they cheapen things up. But a lot of the builders are using that now. There goes another truss up there now. He's getting ready to set that. Very cool. This gentleman's helped. He's got a tagline on it. He helps control it, so that it stays so it doesn't get out of control, because it's just hanging off those hooks up there. So now he'll go back and get another piece, So it's just building a puzzle, building a big puzzle, okay? That's all it is. All right, gang, they're gonna lift another one up, but I wanna point something out to you guys. We're putting a 9-box coffer ceiling in the living room. And what that is, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's a tray ceiling. I think we all know what that is. A tray ceiling with a tic-tac-toe board essentially in it, if you can imagine that. It's called a coffered ceiling, where you have little raised areas, like there's gonna be 9 boxes, 9-box coffered ceiling. And we raise this thing up. See how flimsy that looks by itself? See how it kind of does one of those numbers? You go, oh my God, what kind of junk are they doing for me, right? But again, when it's together, it's super, super strong. Now, pay attention to the bottom of this truss when it goes up in the air. See how it's got that little kick right there on both sides? It's skinnier in the center than it is on that end. See that little kick right there? That's part of built into the truss package. They'll go through in the living room, just like the master bedroom. They'll frame that in and make that coffered ceiling. But they build it right into the truss package. Okay? They have to accommodate that space. All right? There you go. Nice. All right. Looks like they got a majority of those, the first run of those trusses up there. They got a bunch of them split apart here because they got to start organizing and getting to the where they need to be, because they're going to be doing the. Of course, you've got to finish the front side, but they're also got to go up and get that peak that we all know about, right? All right, I had to stop and talk to a gentleman. Wanted to talk about what was going on. They still got these, of course, these trusses here, as you can see, they're the same shape as what's already up there. They're still coming forward, right? Okay. Then if we walk over here, it's like puzzle pieces, just like you do in a puzzle. You separate, you know, different colors, different shapes, different things that you do with those folks that do puzzles. I'm not a puzzle doer, but some people are. But as you can see, they've separated a bunch of stuff. And you can see all the tags. Again, these guys have been doing this for so long. They don't even look at those tags probably, but those tags indicate where they should go, what position they're in, excuse me, what kind of truss they are. But you can kind of see you got this truss, which has got a flap, but then you got the other piece over there. You know, so all these things fit together again like a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, paint by numbers, right? So he's getting that all set up. They're gonna hoist this thing up. So this is a great view of them getting ready to get this thing set up with the hooks. It's a pretty simple thing, like I said earlier. And that gentleman there, he's already got it hooked as a tag line, so it keeps it from spinning everywhere and out of control. So those guys up on the roof can, you know, get it. And while this one's being hooked up, they're still busy securing that one and making sure because they have to have so many nails in them, they have to be secured in so many spots, and all that's per code, and that gets inspected by the county. All right, so here we go. They're lifting one up. This is a pretty cool view, right? And like I said, he's got the tag line, so he controls the, woo, gonna hit the toilet. Don't hit the toilet. Nice, look at that. You can see how much they flex too, right? And that gentleman over there, he's super important, the crane operator. He's gonna coordinate that and set it down and making sure those guys get it where they need it up there. I love hanging trusses, baby. Sharon and I are absolutely tickled that you guys are watching our stuff. We really like to show folks stuff. We consider ourselves educators more than anything else. You know, as buyer's agents, exclusive buyer's agents, dedicated buyer's agents, you know, all we do is work with buyers from new construction, resales. We don't take listings. That's not what we do. We're only on one side of the equation, and that's here for you. So we want to make sure our folks get great education, because, you know, without great education, you can't make great decisions. You know, and together as a team, we like to make great decisions. You know, you, us, everybody. So anyway, so that's what we're doing. We're educating you. Here's something for you to look at. I bet you guys can't guess where this truss is going to go. See how close to the front of the house we're getting? And if you remember the plans early on, what's going in the very front of our walkway, our entranceway? It's a tray ceiling, right? So let's look at this truss package. This truss. See how close that little cutout is right there? You see that right there? Not this scrap piece, that'll be cut out, but just that little piece right there. It's a little bit off to the right, right? Because it's further to the right than it is to the left. But you notice where our walkway is over there, our front door. That's part of the tray for the entryway ceiling, right? Again, just pieces of the puzzle. Just piece, and what they'll do with that piece, once they get up they'll just cut that off when they're framing. Not a big deal. They do that because they have to have someplace to tack the wood on. It's easier to use standard lengths of the wood than to cut that all at the truss plant. So not a big deal. They'll just cut that, build the box, build it for the tray, and then of course then that gets all get sheetrock. So they got one going up right there. All right, guys, you're getting ready to see something really. This is what about how weak these trusses are. Again, because they got long lengths of wood. You know, the longer something is, kind of the weaker it is, right? But watch when they lift this. Now, they're not going to do it now. I was hoping they'd lift this one. They just moved that one, and it was like bowed in the center. And you know, some of you are going, "Oh my God, what kind of junk are they building here?" You know, but it's not. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay, so he's getting ready to use that crane to lift that piece up. So I can't show you that. So anyway, that's. There you go. There's a good flimsy look right there. There you go. And you go, oh my God. See that? It's all about communication, right? Somehow they hook two trusses. They gotta unhook it. Grab that first one. Again, it's all communication between this gentleman, the crane operator. Again, safety is the utmost concern, but making sure they do things the right way, that's important as well, right? And there you go. Another one going up. And he's got that tagline attached. Easy squeezy. All right, guys, another different perspective. Truss is coming into the sun, if you can see it. And see, he's already got the spacer in there. This gentleman's got the tag line, so it kind of controls it. Got the crane operator. They're gonna set it down. He's already got the spacer, so they'll set it in place, and then they just bring it over, and he starts using the air nailer. Bam, 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 right? And the other day I talked about the two hardest working disciplines in construction. One was concrete guys, the other was framers. These guys are busting their chops for us. I just talked to him a little bit while he's waiting for that truss. But I don't want to negate anybody else that works on a house. Roofers, they have a tough job too. This is pretty hot out here today, so roofers work hard. Electricians, plumbers. So again, everybody works really super hard to make great products, you know. See them up there just banging away those nails. And there's so many nails they have to put in and so on and so forth. So that's, just wanted to give you guys another perspective. All right, they're away from this area, so I thought I would come back here to the back of the house, kind of look at a bunch of different stuff. I don't know if you guys can see it in the video. You see how those trusses stopped, or the cord stopped right there, and that's going to be the start of the coffered ceiling. Okay. We got that, we got those over there, so it's just part of the framing process. I want you guys to see kind of what the skeleton, and that's a great way to look at it, is the framing of a house is the skeleton of the house, like your bones, right? They hold you together. The better those bones are, the more stronger you are, okay? So those guys are all up there doing their thing, right? As a matter of fact, I could probably, since they're this far away, I'm going to scoot into the bedroom, the master suite right off the sliders. Now you get to see a little bit better from inside. There's where the coffered ceiling, the 4-box coffered ceiling is going to go. We talked about that. This guy's up there working. So, I mean, they're walking across those beams, across that 2x4. That's confidence in your job and in your ability. So, and these guys are really doing a great job. So we're very honored and blessed to have them on our job site. Okay. And there you guys are. You're inside with the framers. I probably shouldn't be here. I don't have a hard hat on, but you guys are inside with the framers. You're part of the framing crew. Let's go in here into the master bath. And through the master bath, sorry, let's duck underneath their bracing. Let's stand over here in the closet. Lots of stuff going on above our heads, right? There's the crane way over there. You guys are part of it. See all those nail guns? They're just popping nails everywhere. I love it. And you can see this is a great place to see all that bracing. Remember that bracing he was cutting? That's all that is. And just here, and it's on the other side. It's in a couple of different locations so that we keep everything tight together, right? Hey Sharon, what do you think of this?
It's gonna be a dang big house.
Look at that. That's the cherry on.
So
that's like the icing on the cake there. The cherry on the whipped cream. They're putting all the toppers on them, I call them.
Toppers.
The toppers. What do you think about this?
A lot of wood up there. Oh wow.
Sharon, she's a woman of very few words.
It's exciting.
Is it exciting, Sharon? How exciting is it?
It is so exciting.
Do not go into acting, Sharon. Anyway, let's walk around the house. I'm going to show you guys. They're putting on the toppers. Let's go walk around this way in front of the truck real quick. All right, they got the whole stack of the toppers up there. We're going to start standing them up and putting them in place. Those are the guys that are full of confidence, that's for sure, in their abilities up there. So they're standing free up on the top of those trusses. So they're getting ready to stand them up. There's one, or at least move them to another location. There's some more coming in. They're going to get them all set up there. Then they'll start putting them in place like they did the main trusses there. Woo, we're being invaded. The old Navy or military helicopter there. We just had a C-130 take off, and he went overhead. We just had some hawks here. They were scrapping over some food that they were holding on to. That was pretty cool. This is going to be a great place to live. We got lots of activity in the airspace. Birds, planes, helicopters. There's a whole flock of them. There's a, you know the old song, flock of seagulls? But that's not the seagulls. That's something else, I'm sure. What do you think, Sharon?
Probably sparrows.
Sparrows? You think that? They're awful big for sparrows. Those must have been like mutated sparrows. You're not an aviary person,
no,
huh?
No.
Neither am I.
On my plate and roasted with some thyme butter.
Ooh, thyme and butter. You had me at butter. They're starting to put on those smaller pieces in the front because we got two gable ends, essentially three kind of gables, but two gable ends, if you will, and they're faux gable ends. One over the garage space and then one over the front porch space, okay? So just kind of, you can see it's starting to take shape, okay? See, that's the front of our house. That's right at the gable ends, if you will. The gable ends right over the top of the garage.
Yep, that's where the gargoyle is going to go, right, Mike?
No, actually the gargoyle is going to go in the center of the house when that window gets framed in. That's if the gargoyle is allowed to live here.
I'm putting my foot down on this one, Dwight. No gargoyle.
Which foot? Oh my God. The gargoyle. Nobody likes
the red eyes.
Oh, heck yeah. Getting dressed up for every occasion. 4th of July.
No.
Halloween. That's his favorite holiday.
Halloween is okay.
So, we're getting there, guys. Pretty soon this will all be peaked out. This thing's going to be ginormous roof on this thing.